You are already moving in short bursts between doorway recesses when wood shutters crack open overhead and something wet splashes across the stones just ahead of your toes. You stop a half step too late. Your front sandal skids. You catch yourself on the wall with your free hand, and another scrape of wood above makes you pull your head in hard enough to bite the inside of your cheek. The middle of the lane is shining now. The stones are slick where the splash spread, but the wall line is no better. Every upper window is a mouth that might open again. You cannot keep a normal pace and look up at the same time. So you tuck your chin, lift the lamp only as high as your chest, and use its weak glow to catch the next doorway, the next column base, the next cutback in the wall. Then you run those few steps and stop under stone before the next drop finds you. That changes your whole body. Your stride gets short. Your shoulders stay up. The lamp has to stay close so the flame does not jump out, which means you see less of the ground until the last moment. Twice your sandal's sole smears on wet stone and you have to slap a palm against the masonry to stay upright. The third recess is already occupied, so you do not stop there at all. You suck in your stomach and pass with your back scraping plaster. Under the portico edge, the fall from above finally misses you. For one breath, then two, nothing comes straight down. You shift nearer the columns to keep that strip over your head. It works, but it pushes you into the dark line of people already using the same shelter. A shoulder blocks the way. Someone turns as your lamp reaches them, and you drop the flame lower at once. Too much light shows your face. Too little and you step on someone's foot or into a bundle on the ground. Now the problem is not the windows. It is the bodies under them. To stay covered, you have to pass within arm's reach. You angle the lamp inward against your chest, keep your other elbow tight over what you carry, and edge sideways along the wall. The overhang protects you, but it also hides everyone's hands. Ahead, the strip narrows where more figures are packed into the next recess, and there is no room to slip through cleanly. Under the awning edge, men are crouched on thresholds with their knees out in the way. A man in a cloak is asleep across half the path, face turned to the wall. Your sandal taps a rolling wine cup and it clacks off the stone. Somebody behind you mutters. Somebody else answers from the dark under the overhang. You do not look back. There is no clean line through them. If you edge around one pair of legs, your purse side opens. If you turn your shoulders, the bundle under your arm shifts out where hands can test it. So when a broad-backed man comes up beside you with two others at his heels, all moving your way, you slide in behind them at once. Not close enough to touch. Close enough that anyone watching has to count 4 bodies instead of 1. It works for a few paces. The men on the thresholds call out, but not to you alone now. A hand shows from a doorway and then pulls back because it meets the first man's shoulder, not yours. You keep your lamp tucked in, chin down, and match the cluster's pace. Then their pace becomes your problem. They stop short at a narrow patch and you stop with them or walk into their backs. They squeeze sideways past the sleeping man and you have to squeeze where they squeeze, heels sliding on spilled wine. One of them laughs at something said from the recesses, and when a voice asks where you are all headed, you keep your face blank and move as if the question belongs to the group. If one of them turns and says you are not with us, you lose the cover instantly, so you stay quiet and keep step. For a moment it almost feels manageable. The lane has a flow, and you borrow it. Then noise swells ahead, wood banging, a driver shouting, iron ringing on stone. The 3 men in front of you flatten against the wall so fast you nearly hit them. You jam your shoulder into the plaster beside them. The sleeping man jerks awake. Everyone under the awning folds inward at once, clutching cups, bundles, hems, elbows. The lane in front is no longer a lane. Something large is forcing through it, and there is nowhere left to walk. Before you can slip out of the knot of bodies, the wagon is already there. The axle screams around the bend first, then the mule heads push into view, wet noses tossing, harness rings clacking. Somebody behind you says move, but there is nowhere to move to. The lane has shrunk to the width of the cart, and your feet are still in it. You shove backward into a recessed doorway hard enough to hit stone with your shoulder blade. Your chest stays turned to the wall. Your knees fold in. A wheel comes past close enough that you have to lift one foot and pin the sole against the door jamb until the rim grinds by. A hanging sack on the cart swings and brushes across the backs of the people beside you. One man tries to edge forward anyway, sees the mule's shoulder coming and jerks back so fast he stamps on your toes. The driver keeps yelling for space as if shouting can make any. Hooves strike sparks from the paving. Wood corners scrape plaster. Everyone under the shop front edge keeps twisting, passing the pressure along body to body. An elbow digs into your ribs. A hand grabs your sleeve, then lets go when the cart jolts, and the whole line of trapped people flinches together. At last, the rear axle bumps past. You drop your foot, breathe once, and try to straighten. You cannot. The wagon missed you, but it has packed everyone tighter under the overhang. A woman is clutching a jar to her chest. Someone's bundle is wedged against your hip. Two men start arguing over who shoved first, then both stop at the same moment. The air has changed. Not the cart stink, not mule sweat. Something drier pushes in above it. People stop watching the wheels and look up the lane instead, then higher, toward the roofline. You do the same because everyone else is doing it, but the crowd does not loosen. It holds you in place while the next problem arrives, and now the street that just trapped the cart is waiting to trap the smoke too. You smell it before you find it. Not lamp smoke. Not cook fire. A hotter, drier bite. Then orange starts flashing behind closed shutters farther down the insula row, quick and low, and smoke slides under the eaves until the lane ahead turns the color of muddy wool. You take 3 more steps toward your usual turn, cough, and stop. People are already coming back out of that passage, shoulders first, heads bent, one man with his forearm over his mouth, another dragging a child by the wrist so fast, the child keeps stumbling. If you keep your line, you run into whatever sent them back. You cut left instead, aiming for the wider crossing by the little shrine where the walls break and the air might move. The push changes at once. In the narrow lane, everyone was trying to force through. Here they angle the same way you do, and that makes it worse. Elbows catch your ribs. Your lamp throws a weak yellow stain into the haze and shows nothing useful beyond a few feet. So you pinch the flame out with your fingers before someone knocks the oil over your hand. Now you are half blind but not carrying fire into smoke. At the crossing, you finally get one full breath. It hurts, but it goes in. You wipe your eyes with the back of your wrist and can see the space open around the shrine base, the wet shine of old stone. Faces turn toward the same roofline. Everyone has stopped for the same reason. From here, you can judge which way the glow is spreading. Then the torchlight arrives. 2 men come in from the far side carrying pitch torches high, and the whole knot of people shifts toward them before thinking. Light reaches the paving first, then ankles, then hands, then every belt pouch, and uncovered face in the crossing. You can see where to place your sandals now. You can also see who is looking at what you carry. A woman presses into the lit patch to get a better look and is shoved right back out. A boy slips between 2 tunics and vanishes toward the torchbearers. One of the men with a torch swings it around to check the lane mouth, and the flame paints you clear from shoulder to knee. Staying near that light means cleaner footing and a visible route. Staying in it means being marked in the middle of a crowd that has started noticing each other as much as the fire. So you have to choose before the next surge hits. Step into the torch glow and move while you can see, or flatten yourself back into the smoke-dark edge where hands can reach before eyes do. A torch gang and a few lamp carriers cut through the smoke, and the paving suddenly starts making sense. A hole opens black at your toes. A broken basket lies on its side. 2 men are arguing over space by a wall. Then the light shifts, and all of it goes away again. You move when the flame moves. You do not step into the middle of them. You stay just off their shoulder, on the ragged edge where the torch gives you the ground but not your full body. That means shorter steps. It means keeping your bundle turned away. When the carrier swings left, you swing left. When he slows, you have to slow too or walk out of the light and straight back into smoke. For several paces it works. You stop hitting people you never saw. You stop testing every stone with your toes. A lamp ahead catches a wet patch and you go around it instead of through it. The whole group makes a moving strip of visibility, almost like a lane open just for those quick enough to stay with it. Then someone at the front checks the side of the street and a staff comes flat across the way. Not high. Knee height. You nearly walk into it anyway. The torch lifts. The man holding it does not point it down the lane. He points it at your face. Now you have to stop cleanly, before the staff hooks your shin and drops you in front of everyone. The bundle feels bigger the instant the light finds it. So does standing alone. Behind you, feet are still coming. If you freeze too long, the people using the same light pile up at your back and make you part of the blockage. You shift one step sideways, enough to show you are not pushing through, not enough to lose the paving. The man with the staff leaves it there. Wait, explain, pay. He does not need to say any of it yet. The torch is doing that work for him. Your hand goes to your belt before you fully choose. If you argue, you stay lit and examined. If you pay, you move faster but with less in your hand for the next demand. If you duck back into the smoke, you give up the only clear route you have had in half the street. The flame crackles. The staff does not move. Past the men, the lane is visible for a few clean yards, then swallowed again. You answer fast. Drop your hands, leave enough coin or enough apology to be waved through, and take the lane before the torch can turn back toward you. A few doors down, your lodging is shut tight. No lamp at the crack. No servant waiting. Just the bar behind the wooden voices upstairs, thin through the wall as if everyone is listening for something else. You hit the door with the side of your fist, then again harder. Someone inside snaps back at you to stop pounding. You do not stop. The street behind you is still open, and that is reason enough. At last the bar scrapes. The door opens only as wide as a shoulder, and you slip through before the man can change his mind. Inside is worse than dark. It has used up air and wet wool and old smoke. The stair is black from the first step up. You put one hand on the wall, one on the rail when you can find it, and climb by feel. The wood shifts under your weight. Halfway up, a door opens above and a strip of light cuts across the stair long enough to show feet, hanging cloth, a broken edge on one step. Then the door shuts, and the dark comes back thicker, because now you know exactly what you can fall on. In your room, you do not undress. You shut the latch, test it once, and keep your shoes on. Your bundle stays under your hand. Instead of lying down in the back corner, you sit near the door with your shoulder against the wall and your feet set to stand quickly. If someone runs on the stair, you want the latch in reach. If smoke comes under the door, you want the hall in 2 steps. For a little while, the walls do their job. No wheels grinding past. No torch in your face. Just boards around you and a place to breathe without being jostled. Then someone stumbles on the stair. A man laughs too loudly below. Another voice curses him quiet. Somewhere farther down, a child starts crying and does not stop. The whole building feels stacked on noise. Timber dries and clicks. Someone drags a jar across the floor overhead. The air turns close. You look once at the shutter, once at the door, and neither looks like a good way out if everyone chooses it together. Then a cry rises from below, sharper than the rest, and more feet answer it at once.